Hey, I'm Reverend Jocelyn, a minister of healing, speaker, and women's ministry coach. I grew my ministry from a simple blog to a national Christian trauma healing movement. And now I help women to answer their call to build purpose driven ministries and businesses. Welcome to Reverend Jocelyn Talks, where healing meets purpose. Hello, my sisters in ministry out there. It's Reverend Jocelyn, and welcome to another episode of Reverend Jocelyn Talks, where I have the opportunity to connect with amazing women of God who have built transformative ministries and kingdom businesses beyond the walls of the church. And whether you are a sister who you're getting ready to dip that toe in the water to start your ministry or kingdom business, or you've been in the game for some time and you're just looking for some encouragement from other sisters, this is the podcast for you. Now, if you're a first timer, welcome, sister. We're glad that you are here. We don't want this to be your last time either. And so I'd always like to bless my first timers with a gift. And you can get a free ministry launch starter kit to help you with launching your ministry, organizing that ministry, putting together a plan so you can market your ministry or gain revenue, and a lot more. You can get this kit at sisterstartyourministry.com. Again, that is sisterstartyourministry.com. Now, today, I'm excited to welcome to a show a sister who I just connected with like immediately. You know how you like meet certain people and you be like, oh, we here. Like, we like sisters from another mister. Like, it was that. And one of the things that I was very excited about with her is that she has been 10 years in the marketing field. So years of experience doing this. But in our heart to heart conversation, she was like, listen, I'm at a place in my career where I am so passionate about advancing the kingdom of God through marketing. And so I really want to connect with Christian sisters to help them build their kingdom businesses and ministries. And I'm like, girl, you speaking my language. And so I'm like, we gonna be working together. And we planning some collaborative things behind the scenes. But she is the founder of Cherished Investments, which that title itself speaks for itself. And she's here to talk to you about how you can market your kingdom business or ministry so you can get your message out to the world so that you can advance your impact. And so I'm grateful that she accepted my invitation and want to welcome LaShay Larue.
Thank you so much for having me here. You have no idea how I'm excited I am about this because of exactly what you said. We connected on such a spiritual level. You are definitely, the feeling is mutual. I'll just say that.
Yes, yes. Well, I want everyone else to know how amazing you are. And before we get into, some of the strategies and things to support the sisters who are listening or watching, one of the things I would just love for them to know a little bit about you and your development and your faith journey, because I know you're such a strong believer. So when did you come to know the Lord?
So, like most melanated people, the Lord has always been a part of the story. As a young girl, definitely drug into church on many a Sunday. But if we're really honest, the personal relationship with God did not start until I was an adult. I had came to a place where just looking at everything that you see in the world, everything felt very chaotic. And I went to church because that just felt natural, right? When you feel like your life is a little bit chaotic, you go to church and you try to figure it out. But when I did that, I didn't really find the answers that I was fully looking for at that time. And I realized that I had a lot of opinions about God, the word, spirituality, faith, all the things. And I had never actually fully read the Bible. And it was like, okay, so we should probably start there, right? And let's just start trying to figure this thing out. And I went on a journey that I can only sum up as looking for God, is really how it started. I was just looking for God and I wanted to know him more. And I didn't know what it was, but I felt like the answers to whatever I was searching for, I would find it somehow if I just started there. And life took me through many highs and lows, and that just remained the consistent thing in my life. And I just went further and further down that journey. And now I'm to the point I read the Bible every year, and every year he shows me something new. And I'm in this phase in life now where it's not just about me building my faith, but connecting with other people to show them all the things that I've learned as well from the word and how it gives me so much wisdom and how I live my everyday life. I never realized how alone I felt in life until I felt the nearness of God in a real, tangible sense. And I genuinely wish that on everyone. I was a person, very cynical, and I was a person who, if you see someone saying tears of joy and how I just love and all the things, just felt very fake to me. Just you're putting on that's extra. No one's that happy. And to be in a place in life now where I cry maybe 5 times a week because of just the amazingness of God and just moments where we say we want to see miracles, we say we want to be a part of these things, but to really be a part of a moment with a sister who truly has like that aha moment in a conversation where she's able to hear a calling from God. Like, it's just such a blessing. It's an amazing blessing. So my journey wasn't linear, but I wouldn't change any aspect of it. But it definitely started with me learning God's word first and foremost.
Mm. Beautiful, beautiful. And one of the things that I am celebrating is the fact that you embody your faith in every area of your life. So you made a bold decision not to compartmentalize your faith and your expression of it, but you're like, when it comes to marketing, I'm gonna be bold. They gonna know I'm a believer in what I do, and I want to attract that. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about that with you in a second, but let me back up and ask, how did you find yourself working in marketing in general?
Yeah. So that actually is also a story that starts back from way, 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 way back in the day. My dad is a serial entrepreneur and he has a great vision for opportunity in businesses, but the follow through was always the struggle for him. And he would see different business opportunities, take advantage of them, and then they would just kind of sit there, right? I remember he bought a salon, he bought a restaurant, both sat there empty. You know, my dad, he has no hair, and I love the man to death, and he cannot cook. So they were not passion projects for him, but they were great opportunities. And during this time, I was in college, and to me, I'm looking at it like, that looks like college money to me. So let me go in and let me figure out like what do we need to do to get this business up and going. And that is really where it started. I realized that you can really start just about any business with the right amount of research, right? You clearly don't need a passion for it, but with a good amount of research, you can really do just about any business. And then it kind of started from there. And you tend to attract people with like mindset. So my dad, as a serial entrepreneur, he would have friends who also have businesses. People would see things that I'm doing and they would start to ask me to help them with their business. And that became something that I just continuously did on a project base from college throughout life in any job that I had. And I was blessed to be a part of a very large real estate investment educational company, and as their vendor director, I had several hundreds of businesses kind of in my program that I was helping to learn to market their business to real estate investors. And during that time, I found that the most successful people were not the most talented. They were not even the people who spent the most on marketing. They were the people who were the best at understanding the needs of their audience and communicating that, right? Meeting the needs of their customers. And the better that I became at helping them to tell that story, the better that my vendors did. The more business that they got, the more people relied and trusted my vendor program. And it became a program that used to be something passive, online directory where you can kind of go if you can't find anybody from anywhere else, to something that people genuinely look forward to, even the presentation that we did on a monthly basis at events so that they can find out about these different companies and the things that they can do. Then COVID happened, and all of the networking things that we were used to doing in person just kind of went out of the window. And if you know anything about real estate, networking is our lifeblood. And a lot of my businesses were struggling at the time. I call them my businesses because that's how I saw them. I knew these people. To me, they were never just businesses. I knew the family behind the business. I knew there were kids that were born during my tenure there, right? I remember the struggle when they were trying to get to that point. So COVID happens. A lot of those businesses were struggling, and I started to go more into how can I help them to market and grow their businesses. And it provided a perfect opportunity for me to go full time for myself. And I remember the scary hesitation of it all because I actually really did love my job. And there were some things that went on with the job that I just didn't feel like the place for me anymore. And I remember being in that place of fear and what does it look like on the other side. And I remember God telling me, you think you are successful at this business because of you? You were successful at this company because of me. And when you leave, I go with you. And I made the decision to go ahead and put in my 2 week notice. All the tears stop, all the fear. I truly had embodied the let go and let God. Talk about a leap of faith. So I put in my 2 week notice. I didn't have a single client yet. I didn't have anything. And within those 2 weeks, my calendar filled up. Once I let everyone know that I was leaving, everyone wanted to know what's next for LaShay, what she got going on. And within 2 weeks, my calendar was filled up. Within about 30 days, I had replaced my income. Because remember, you guys, I started from scratch. I truly did not have a single client when I left that job. I just, the Lord said, trusted him. And I said, okay, that's what I'm going to do. And within about 45, 60 days, I had exceeded my income. So that is everything that got me to this point. And now it's been close to 5 years and I haven't looked back.
Oh my goodness. I am here for it. Love it. And just to see your growth and how God you were obedient, even if you were a little afraid and you saw it. You saw the provision of God. And now, in recent conversations with you, it's very cool that I came to connect with you at a time where you were like, okay, I feel another like shift. I feel like, yes, I'm doing marketing, but now I'm feeling like I want to be much bolder about my faith because it's more than just a business to you. And so in that transition, tell me about a little bit about your thought process of really leaning into this being a kingdom business.
Yeah. It actually came from a place of deep frustration. I actually was questioning if I was even supposed to be in marketing anymore because the industry as a whole just went down a path that I felt was directly opposed to my faith and everything that I believed in and everything that I was learning about and what I saw for my life. The industry was the opposite of that. And I started asking the hard questions that seem really simple, like, what makes you happy? What do you want to do? And during that time, um, God showed me that there was nothing wrong with how I was feeling. It was the complete opposite. How I felt was exactly how I was supposed to feel if I'm put into rooms where things are going directly against God's word. But the important thing that he asked me during that time was, who said that that's the only way to do it? Who said that that's the way that it had to be done? The things that I hated about marketing, it was the fact that people are bold-faced lying. I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all a couple of secrets about the marketing industry. You cannot believe all marketers. A lot of them are playing with your mind, quite literally. They're using psychological tactics for profit, right? They're making people believe that they need these things that that don't actually bear fruit, right? They don't actually create the transformation or the needs that they're trying to stir up inside of people. A lot of these platforms are wholly focused on vanity matrix, right? How many followers do you have? How many likes are you getting? And all these things that really and truly do not matter. And it was a struggle for me because I was good at it. I was good at it, really good at ads, really good at growing profiles and all the things, but it was just like there's no joy in it. And granted, we've learned you can build a successful business without it being truly your passion. So that wasn't it. But it's like my values though, like my values are being challenged by doing these things, and there has to be a different way. And then I did a devotional actually. And in this devotional, because again, I always saw business as its own thing and faith as something separate, right? Both a part of me, but they lived in two different realms. And corporate America teaches that, right? Corporate America teaches that conversations about politics and conversation about faith, those are things that are supposed to stay at home. And that's just the way it is. And I didn't realize that I had allowed that to be so deeply ingrained in my mindset that I just continued after I was outside of corporate America. So I had never done a study into a biblical business and what does that look like. I had never even really heard the concept. My opinion of a biblical business was a church, right? And that's the only way that exists. And I was doing this devotional, and this transformative idea came from that about how we are not the owners of our business. God is actually the owner of our business, and we are stewards. And it is our responsibility to steward these businesses well and to bring God into every aspect of it as the owner of it, right? When we're hired as an employee, when a bad customer comes in or a difficult customer comes in or a difficult situation comes up, the first thing that we would say is, hold on, let me get my manager, right? It's above my pay grade. I don't have anything to do with this. Let me take this to, but we don't do that with God, who is actually the owner of these businesses. And that just had me kind of just take a step back and just reimagine everything that I was doing, reimagine the way that I handled marketing campaigns, reimagine the way that I prospected for clients, right? When I really took a step back and I looked at what are the projects that I actually enjoy, it was working with fellow believers. And I asked myself the question of why that was. And it was because I could show up as my authentic self. I didn't have to leave a part of me at home, and it allowed me to give 110% to the clients that I was working with. And it allowed me to help people to also embody more of the spiritual gifts that God has given them to use the work that they're doing to reach people on a spiritual level in whatever it is that they're doing. And that is what just warmed my heart when I met you, because I went through that alone and I had a lot of questions, and it was like a lot of second guessing and doubting myself. And when I met you, and it was just like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. She's amazing. All of that, like all the things, and the fact that you were actually, because for me, it was all still theory to a certain extent, right? I was being led a certain way. So to see you as a woman who was fully embodying that, who was just like living in the essence of who God has made her, unapologetically so, being successful in doing it, and really seeing that you don't have to be willing to take a back seat to success, and success can be a part of being a woman of God and furthering the word and helping others, that they're not two separate things. As a matter of fact, God rewards you for leaning into his word in that way. But it's all about the heart posture of it all. And that was another thing that I really loved about you. So, um, yeah, that helped me to reimagine how all of marketing was done. Now it's all about be fruitful and multiplying everything that we do, knowing who God has called you to be, who he's called you to serve, figuring out what the transformation that you're offering to your actual audience in the service that you offer, and making sure we're adding additional value and helping people to get there faster, get better results, and then multiply, right? What are the fruits that we have produced through that transformation, and how can we multiply that with a heavy focus on the community aspect of it? Because so many people have now, they want to make money and put it in the bank, and you can't take that with you. You cannot take that with you. But at the end of the day, it's not just about the money too. Giving back to your community doesn't have to come from a monetary value, because taking the time to mentor the next generation of entrepreneurs, or even just fellow sisters who are out there, if you've built up this knowledge, being willing to share that, that in itself is a seed that is sown for the kingdom. So now my business is all about that.
Man, I am excited. And I feel the passion that comes through you and the authenticity. You're showing up as the fullness of you in your faith. And when we get back from this commercial break, we're going to actually talk about marketing God's way and why it's is a very important piece of what we're doing, because we don't want you to continue to be the best kept secret. So stay tuned for this commercial break, and we'll be right back.
You feel called to ministry, but the path forward feels unclear. Fear, doubt, and uncertainty can make the calling feel overwhelming, especially when trying to build something meaningful alone. Written from real ministry experience, this book was created to help women start, grow, and sustain a transformative ministry beyond the walls of the church. Inside are practical strategies for overcoming fear, gaining clarity, building services and teams, generating revenue, and creating a 90-day action plan for growth. More than inspiration, this book is a roadmap for turning a calling into something real and impactful. Sisters, Start Your Ministry, a guide to start, grow, and sustain a transformative ministry. Available on Amazon.
Welcome back, sisters. I'm with the lovely LaShay Larue, and we're talking about marketing God's way, in a way in which you are going to be able to increase your impact for the kingdom. And this is something, LaShay, that is a topic that for some, when they hear marketing, because of the reasons that you discussed previously, because people have been manipulative and they have done things that were unethical, when they hear the word marketing, they can be like, ooh, I don't want to market my ministry or my, like, it just makes them, ooh. Or sometimes I do find women who they're like afraid to kind of put themselves out there. They might say, I want to be humble. I want to kind of be behind. And so there's a struggle there. But it's, as you know, very important for the work that we're doing. So in this conversation, I want us to just kind of talk about what is marketing God's way, first and foremost. Let's start with that question.
Yeah, so I had a mindset shift when it came to marketing when I was in that transitional phase. And that shift was this. God gave you gifts, right? He gave you a life experience for you to be able to help other people. And you literally can be the answer to somebody else's prayer. Let's say, for example, you're a therapist, right? And God has given you a lived experience of working with clients to see that you are really good at helping people to build resiliency and avoid burnout. Okay. Somewhere out there, there is a mom of two who doesn't feel fulfilled in life, who doesn't fulfilled in her business, and she doesn't know what to do. Right. And your program is the literal answer to her being able to have that personal transformation. Okay. The longer it takes for you to put out, because she doesn't know to search for you, right? So she's not Googling for you. She don't know you're a thing. She doesn't know that you exist. The longer that it takes for you to put your message out there to tell people, hey, I am a solution if you have this problem, the longer that she has to live in the dark place with her problem unsolved. You are literally standing in the way of this person being able to receive their blessing by keeping your light hidden under a table. God didn't give you a light. He didn't give you these abilities for you to keep them to yourself. He gave them to you to share them and help other people. And once I received that transformation, that then became the lens that I looked at all of the clients that I work with. So that's the first thing that I would tell people. Like, you got to realize it is not, we got to get out of the, what am I getting from it? Right? Like, it's not about you. It's not about your name being furthered. It's not about any of that. It's about the people that you can truly help. If you're an accountant, there's somebody out there who is struggling with their finances, who has no idea what to do, and numbers come second nature to you, right? There's somebody out there who is in a position where they know they want to work out, but they're not sure where to go when it comes to that or what they should be eating, but you love fitness. Right? There's a lived experience, whether it be through your personal experience, it be through things that you've learned in school, that you are perfectly equipped to help somebody with. That then becomes the foundation of what you communicate to people. We have to change the way we think about marketing. Marketing is not just this specific set of things, right? Marketing is all about messaging, right? And these are all just different communication vehicles that we use: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. They're all just communication vehicles, right? So our responsibility as entrepreneurs is to be a marketer, right? Marketing shouldn't just be something that we outsource. We as entrepreneurs need to know exactly who God has called us to serve and how he has called us to serve them. Okay. And with that knowledge, we then communicate. A lot of entrepreneurs make the mistake of seeing marketing as talking about how great their business is. I'm amazing. I've been in business for this long, and this is why you should know me. How do we receive that? Scroll on to the next one, right? No
Right.
one really cares about all of that stuff. When you're showing up on social media, you're competing with everybody from high school who just had a baby, everybody on LinkedIn who's looking for a job, everybody who spent $500,000 on their ads. But so you're competing with all of those things. So you have to put your customer front and center. That person that God has called you to serve, they have to be front and center. And you have to make sure that they feel deeply seen and heard and are incredibly clear about how you can help them. When we say marketing, I don't want you to think about the Burger King commercial, right? I want you to think about problem solution, right? Who has a problem and how can I solve it? That's what you need to think about when you think about marketing.
That's good. That's good. Now, here's the golden question for many people. Okay, LaShay, you've convinced me. I got to stop hiding. I understand marketing's important, but where do I start?
Yeah. So I am a firm believer in writing it down and that making it real, right? So the first thing that I would do is sit down and pray, because again, we've got to get out of this habit of coming up with things and taking it to God and saying, God, please bless this, because sometimes you're asking for a blessing that ends up becoming a lesson later on, right? So we have to sit down with God and actually pray over our work and ask for God to show us, God, who are you calling me to solve first and foremost? Now, some of us may not be a writer. I love video, so you can actually turn on your camera and just kind of talk it out as well. But start with the prayer and then just start talking it through. Talk through who you've helped in the past, the jobs that you've actually enjoyed in the past, where your money has come from. Or let's say if you haven't fully started the business yet, but you know you've got this experience, because there are a lot of people who are professionals who have spent a lot of money into degrees and have been laid off. They've been laid off because things happening with the government or politics. They've been laid off because of AI. They've been laid off because of downsizing, what have you. You can actually use your expertise as a business as well. So go through that list of things and then start utilizing AI. Utilize AI to help you organize your ideas of the ways in which you help people, and start creating with intention. A lot of marketing that people do, it's sporadic, right? I'm just going to do a post today and I'm going to do a post there. We literally start everything with, who are we trying to speak to? What are the pain points that they have? And that's going to determine our 30-day content calendar. And we create a 12-month content calendar, or a topic calendar, I should say. So that everything goes back in a way that makes sense, right? It goes back to a core product. Have a core product. Don't try to be the jack of all trades, right? If you were to go to your doctor's office or your dentist's office, let's say, and while he's cleaning your teeth, he's telling you about how, yeah, he does barbecue and he's got the pit in the back and he can get you a plate, and he's also really good at taxes. So if you need that, the more he talks, the less confident I feel about you in my mouth right now working on my teeth.
For real.
So we gotta be more strategic and specific, and not try to share all the gifts that God has given us, right? What is the thing that you're best equipped to? Like, what is that thing that you can do better than anybody else? What is that thing that you're really known for? And have the faith that if you lean into that, the numbers will come, the money will come, everything else that you need will come. Why? Because you're going to be giving it your all. And that's really the thing about, the whole being a jack of all trades. It's not a question of if you can do all the things, but should you do all the things, right? Because the same way that I said your dentist and barbecue, immediately you feel that, ooh, like that cringe, that no. in all the ways. No, but that's what it looks like when you go to somebody's website and they're like, I can do your website, I do t-shirts, I'll do your marketing, I can do your taxes. I do all the things. That is what that gives. And it's the same thing if someone goes to your social media profile and it's like, I don't know what's going on here. There's a baby here, a restaurant there, a marketing flyer I've seen 6 different times. If you would not like to see it on somebody else's page, please do not put it on your page.
Help the people, LaShay. Help the people. We gonna leave that right there for them just to just stew on that for a second. Oh my gosh, this time went so fast. I would love to spend just a few minutes, LaShay. You are doing some great work that is all just about bringing sisters together. You have a monthly Led by Faith event. Just briefly share a little bit about that.
Yeah. So down that journey, like I said, I did it alone. And at the end of that journey, God said, great. But like, I built you for a community, right? So I started searching for other groups out there and I really didn't see anything that fit what I was looking for. So I decided to build it because I didn't really see it. So Led by Faith is a monthly event. It's hyper focused on the actual connection and true sisterhood. It is not about just showing up and giving the highlight reel. We show up as a big group, but then we break into smaller breakout rooms so that you actually have a chance to get to know the ladies. It's all about feedback because, again, it's purposeful networking. So we may be in one session talking about your elevator pitch, and the next session we may be talking about goal setting, and we're holding each other accountable by actually sharing the goals with your small group. And then another session we may be talking about what is that thing that God has called you to do that you've been procrastinating on, because delayed obedience is disobedience.
Amen.
So we go there, we talk about the things, and we do it all with love and in those small groups. So you're getting a chance to meet a bunch of different ladies. So you're truly walking away with people. And I tell everyone to come with their calendar link. I want them to walk away with at least 2 or 3 connections in real time at that event. And I open up my calendar as well. So that's also part of why I'm always busy after Led by Faith, because my calendar just blows up with ladies, but I wouldn't change it for the world. So I would love to see more sisters joining us at the last Thursday of every month we do it.
That's amazing. And what we'll do is we'll make sure to put a link in the show notes, sisters, so you can check out this amazing event, particularly if you're looking for community and just wanted to have some authentic relationships with other sisters. This is where you need to be. And also, LaShay, just is there a website people can go to learn about marketing support from you?
Yeah, so you can actually go to cherished with an ED dash investments with an S.com, and there you'll find information about the agency as a whole, but different programs that we have going on. We're launching now our builders program. So for those of you who need to create the signature framework, all of the things, or create the funnel, we're able to help you with that too.
That's awesome. LaShay, I am proud of you. I celebrate you. I look forward to witnessing how God just continues to use you to be a vessel to help other people shine their lights, just like you shine yours. Thank you for being a guest. Everyone, be sure to check out her website in the show notes. And I look forward to us continuing to work together to advance the kingdom.
Yes, thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure, LaShay. And thank you all for tuning in. I'm so grateful for you. You got a chance to meet my sister from another mister. So, you make sure you follow up with her. But also, if you are a sister who you're like, yeah, like marketing, I see the importance, but I need help getting started. I don't know my left from my right when it comes to my first step. I'm scared. I'm like, should I start this as a nonprofit? How am I going to get the funds to even pay her? Okay, but breathe. Is okay. Okay. This is why we offer a resource connection call for sisters, because sometimes you are like, I just want to know my next step. And that's where we can come in. My team is on standby. We offer these free calls to just hear what you're looking for. And literally over those 15 to 20 minutes, we connect you with a resource that's going to help you to take your next step, whatever that may be. You can find a link to book your resource connection call in the show notes below. And if you enjoyed this episode, I'm also going to invite you to, if you haven't already, subscribe. Be sure to like this episode and share it with a friend. So thank you again for hanging out with me. I always enjoy spending time with you. And until next time, you stay encouraged, sis, and you keep your faith on the journey. I'll see you soon.